Hey, here's here. We were talking about um being a good or a bad person. I feel for myself, I generally try to be a good person, but I'm not sure how good I am at all. Because to tell the truth, and it's kind of hard to say, but in some ways, because I don't feel self-sufficient, I don't feel like a whole person. This isn't the criteria I use for other people. And in fact, I propose individual bailouts for anybody. You know, I'm a very strong advocate of people that are homeless or disabled or mentally ill, anything that keeps them from being a, if not productive member of society, at least feeling like they're an active member of it. A That's my version of inclusion. And as someone who's like that, I can't help but feel that I don't know how to judge good and bad. I only know what I'm doing to survive. And so far, I feel like I have to survive on with a sheltered life. And I have to keep perpetuating that in various degrees. And that makes me feel, well, an outcast. And kind of desperate. Like, I really couldn't be trusted to do the right thing if it really came to it because I'm not self sufficient enough to do anything but the completely selfish thing. I'm like one of the needy. And it's just like, the dispossessed. And I've seen other people, like when I was in a convalescent home for a brief period after I got out of the hospital, there were people in there that were interned. They were older, they had various health problems, and they were stuck at a place that wasn't on the individual side. They were going to be there day in, day out, the rest of their lives, however long or short that is. And that's just like mind-numbing horror to me. And that's where if we don't just die somewhere young or old, that's where we'll be. In the dregs. Or out on the street. And it's like, even it's getting harder and harder. Even if you're someone who can normally be self-sufficient, you're stuck in a situation where, because of the housing crisis and the economy going bad to worse, you could be a fully healthy, productive person who can't survive on a minimum wage, or you're the working poor. And that's just like, you're doing all the right things, but you don't have the necessary skills or ability or even opportunity to be anything. Forget race, forget gender. What about just being healthy enough? There's a there's there's a break between being cared for and all the problems with that when you're entitled, or not even entitled, but so to speak, well, I don't want to use entitled because that sounds like a negative connotation, but you're interned, so to speak, on the problems of, well, entitlement. And it's like, what do you do there when you're trapped? But then there's a sharp dip where you have no safety net at all. And if you did, would that be better or worse because of entitlement? And then there's a point where even the people who are not in the hole are sliding dangerously close to the hole when they're active, average, working, everyday citizens that are lower middle class. Which is completely insane. Because we should be having a society that's uh, the standard of living is a living wage and fair or average or affordable housing and good health care. And to me, it's like, are you a good person? Are you not a good person? It's how desperate you are to survive. And for me, it's like being in that, almost on the other side of that cliff. If I have a very low support system, and everybody has a support system, whether they realize it or not, unless they're really a ultra performer, or, well, even ultra performers or people in upper middle to upper class have a support system, just they have a very great support system with lots of cash equity. But for us that don't, it's like that privilege just goes to nothing, and then things get desperate. So that's the problem with that, is how good a person or how bad a person you are, is what kind of situation you're in to be that problem. How desperate you get. When you're camping in friggin' suburbia, you're having problems. Because the camping trip, when you run out of supplies, goes to hell pretty fucking quick. I don't know. So am I a good or a bad person? Just start taking away stuff and you'll see. Probably not that damn good at all. Probably pretty fucking desperate. Yep. I admit it. Why lie?